Hello, I'm Sonia West and welcome to Sanji Galbat. Today in the studio we have the MLA for Surrey Panorama, Bryan Tepper. It's always a pleasure to talk to him, so let's welcome him to the studio. Bryan, good to see you.
Thank you, Sonia. It's great to see you.
We love having you here because you always have a very open conversation about everything. And because this show is Sanji Galbat, which means just a casual conversation, we're going to talk about everything today.
Sounds good.
So tell me, so far, how have your days, the festive days been for you? You've been enjoying?
Yeah, very good, very good. Very casual for us, but I know the other day somebody asked me, so if you had some time off, and I said, well, I think I took a couple of days off and I had to think about it. I only had the 25th off. I ended up doing right up to the evening of the 24th, and then something came up on the 26th as well. So I've been, every day I have still been going, but it's been nice. I mean, very enjoyable events, yes.
Yeah, well, I see you at, all the events in the community. Sometimes I even wonder, like, how do you have all this time? And I see you always in the same mood, which is very pleasant, very approachable, and you make time for everyone, which is appreciated.
Well, I truly enjoy going to the events, so it makes it a lot less of a chore. And I've said to many people, if you don't enjoy going to the events and interacting with the people in the whole area, I mean, Surrey's a different area because, in the interior, MLAs have different cities they have to go to. I just have to go to different areas of Surrey, sometimes Richmond, but, it's most of my stuff is very close to home, but I get a lot of different cultural events that I would never have gotten to do without being really lucky enough to have this as a job.
Yes, Surrey is so diverse. You've got lots of different communities here that love your support, so thank you for that.
Well, appreciate it, yes.
We always talk about the different things that are happening in British Columbia and how sometimes it's disheartening. In today's program, I do want to talk about those topics, but I also want to talk about the good things that are happening because it's not all bad. So let's get started. First of all, we talked about Surrey being so diverse, and we need more healthcare. Healthcare is, we hear stories every day, not just British Columbia, but throughout Canada, disheartening, heartbreaking, family-destroying stories. The most recent being Prashant Shree, who died. He's in his 40s, or he was in his 40s. His funeral was actually just happened, and it's so devastating to that family. What do you say? I'm sure you saw that, and as a person who's not, you're probably around 40s. Like, I don't know your actual age, but I'm assuming in that demographic, you're a family man. This was a family man. How did you feel?
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than that. I'm in my 50s now, but I ran on a platform of healthcare. One of the three things that I wanted. We'll probably talk about the others while we're here too. But healthcare is extremely important to everybody. I mean, that's our lives. It's our quality of life while we're alive, even. So if we're not getting that, we're in real trouble. And I will say we are in a leadership race right now. And for Surrey, there's, with the other MLAs we have, and, we are looking for a leader that is going to put Surrey well, not as a second-class city for certain, but at least we want to put them, we want to make it the center of our province. We are the growing city. We are the center and the hub of all of our province now. So, we want a new hospital. We want more doctors and nurses. We need to have these things that Vancouver or Coastal Health, we're in Fraser Health, that they get, which we don't, and everybody's traveling. We need things close to home so we don't have these horrific stories of suffering and death.
Horrific stories. Another one is a patient was delivered to the wrong address. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Okay, so a patient was discharged from Surrey Memorial, taken back home, but not his home. See, it leaves you speechless. It seems like it's not even true, but it just goes to show that either there's too much pressure on the system or people are making careless mistakes because they're not caring. I don't know what it is, but something has to change.
Yeah, I don't think it's the not caring. I mean, the people that get into healthcare, are generally very caring people. So, there's a lot of burnout. We talk about that all the time. So, I mean, whether it's the strain on the system, the strain on the people in the system, but these things, that's where mistakes start to happen. And that's why we have, again, these unfortunate incidents that are, affecting us all.
White Rock Hospital is not delivering babies. So I'm sure you heard of that.
Yes.
What does a person do? A woman's pregnant, needs to get to, have the delivery, and they're refused. No room at the inn.
Yeah. Well, our last child was 2008 and delivered at Peace Arch, and it was just before they started the upgrade of the maternity ward there.
Right.
So it is probably the newest maternity ward in the area, if not, amongst the province.
Right.
It was the most advanced at that, and now we've just shut it down because we can't staff it. We can't,
Is that the reason? Is because there's just not enough staff?
Well, that's as far as I understand, is that, we don't, there's so much rationing in our system, and that's what we've got, right? That's the problem with the system that we do have. It's great that everybody gets health care, but do they have access to health care?
Yeah.
And that's where we're missing out, is that, at some point you're going to get free health care, but
at what cost?
Are we having people pass away waiting for that health care because it's being rationed?
Yeah, interesting that you said that, because it's the perfect segue for my next statement, which is 70,000 Canadians have died since 2018 waiting on a wait list for health care. So yes, we have this free health care, but at what cost, Bryan?
Yeah, I've talked about that again since I was running. And I've talked about it for years before that, mostly to myself, I guess. But now, I do have a platform to bring that out.
You do.
And I talk about that a lot, is the amount of people that, and that's I don't know what we say. Worst case is that we are having people die on wait lists, but we also have to think about the people suffering on wait lists that have to wait and wait. And, I have some personal stories about that with my own family, and, with my wife needed neck surgery and had discs replaced, but she, that was an ongoing saga from, the mid 2010s, so probably 2015 it started. So waiting on that long, just getting shuffled around and, moved from place to place, trying different things. But in the end, she had no discs left in her neck. So it was, but it was that wait to get there. And in the end, we actually had to pay a little bit out of pocket in order to get it done in that portion. So, was it free at all? Not really, no.
No. So as somebody that's not in politics, that's just an average citizen of Surrey, to think that it took you a decade, and you're somebody that's been well respected in the community as a police officer and as a politician now, you'd think that you'd have some pull where you'd be like, get her on the list first. But it was just as difficult for you.
Yes. I think, there's the odd time where you hear about people that, that work in that field that can get their, significant others in advance, which is really a horrific story in itself. I don't mean to overuse that word, but, when you have to be in that position in order to get people the care that they need and should have.
Yes.
It just makes me shake my head.
It really does. So that's actually a really important point. We have a lot of people in Surrey that are not fluent in English, and they probably need just the same medical care as anybody else. But because they can't advocate for themselves, they might be pushed further than a decade. It's the squeaky wheel that gets the oil, they say.
Yes, it is.
So even being squeaky, it took 10 years for your wife's operation.
Well, I think the problem is we're not really that squeaky either, I guess, right? My family tends to be rule followers, and so we don't make a lot of fuss. I don't either. So, we just kind of go along with what we're being told. So I think if we had been a lot more vociferous, and so that's a lesson for everybody as well, that you do have to advocate. You don't want to, I don't know what to say, you be pushy, I guess, and get yourself into issues, but advocating for yourself is extremely important. Be
proactive.
Yes.
So there are a lot of issues in Surrey. What other issues did you want to address? Because I want to talk about healthcare. First of all, you said there's two other things you wanted to talk about.
As part of my platform. Well, crime we're going to talk about if we can. Obviously, this is huge in Surrey because all levels of crime, and I'm definitely working on it. And probably people don't know, when I was originally, I was the critic for community safety and integrated services. I ended up moving to post-secondary education, future skills development. But looking at my skill set, I've ended up moving back into community safety. But we've moved it into transnational crime as well. So my new title is Critic for Community Safety and Transnational Crime, recognizing that one of the huge issues, mostly for our area, but for across Canada, is transnational crime, the extortion crisis.
Right. So in this new role, what are you taking on? Like, that sounds like that's a big title. What does this actually mean?
Yeah, so we're pushing for actual ideas that we can bring to both the provincial government and federal government that I think that we should be moving forward that can help alleviate some of the issues that we're having. And I mean, it's not solely based on the transnational crime, the extortion,
right,
because it actually stems right from the bottom to the top in our crime problems. And I mean, before the extortion started,
yeah,
I think everybody knows we had the slow descent down into really chaos and crime throughout the province.
Yes.
I mean, I will say, traveling through the province in the springtime and the summer with the finance committee, we got to see all of the small towns that I haven't been into for quite a few years. Okay. And I mean, I policed up north for a little bit, yeah, but the degradation on the streets was shocking.
What do you
in
mean?
These small
what do you
towns?
See?
You just the drugs and crime you could see on the streets. So we've got homeless people in these small towns. Wow. That were not there before. I mean, it was shocking to me, the difference. And I've seen a lot of things over the 20 years of policing, right? So
I know what you're talking about. When I go back to Kamloops, every time I go back, I see a lot more people just lying in the street. Yeah. It's a weird thing to see. Yeah. So now let's talk about leadership. We've got one more item from your platform, but let's talk about leadership. What's going on with the leadership race? We're all excited to find out who's going to be the chosen one.
Well, as am I, and unfortunately, I'm still waiting on the rules to come out as well. Okay. So we won't find out who's actually in the race until the party comes out with the actual rules, which I believe will be early January here. Okay. So just hopefully in the next 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't have a time frame on that yet either. Right. But as soon as the rules come out, then we'll get a really good idea of what we've got. But again, for myself, I will be looking for a leader that's going to put Surrey, we'll call it Surrey, in the lead for this province, because we need our health care back. We need to be fighting crime in Surrey, and the hospital will be a promise to get a hospital, another hospital. I mean, the one we're building in Cloverdale is, I mean, I think we all know it's inadequate at this point. So right. It's not open, and when it does open, it will won't alleviate any stress off of Surrey Memorial. So that's what we're looking for, is something that we won't have these mistakes of delivering somebody to the wrong address.
I know.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the third issue in your platform.
Well, it'll be economy.
Yes.
So the economy needs to go. Really, everything. Our whole province, the social welfare system that we do live under, yes, the health care, we'll bring in when we have newcomers to the country and they lack language skills. Yes. Where do we provide that, right? It's not provided if we don't have the money, and we're in an epic deficit right now, and our debt is, it's a record debt as well. So, right, we're looking at anything that we can do, yeah, that we can get back to being the province that we should be. And really, we should be, in the richest country in the world. We have so many resources and everything right, that we've got going for us, and they're just blocked and stopped. I mean, we've had, I can't even remember the number of sawmills, wood mills that have closed just because of lack of fiber, timber to come into the mills. Wow. And it's insane. They say we're allowed a certain amount, but then they don't give permits, right, for people to actually log. And, we had the fire-killed wood, that's right, and they were holding that up for years until now, and we put enough pressure on them that they're actually issuing the permits in somewhat timely manner, as far as I understand. That's what they're telling us now, is that they are issuing the permits, at least on the burnt wood. Yes. So, I mean,
what
we
can
use that.
What can that be used for?
A lot of it's salvageable for actual regular use, okay, but a lot of it's just, we can use it for chips, we can use it for all sorts of things. And the vast majority of our wood product now is going into pulp and paper, okay, and then we have the mass timber, which is, we're compiling all of that together and building out of that. So we're doing a lot of environmental good, right, with dealing with all of these issues that we have. So logging is huge for our province. We now have more wood in our province than we've ever had in history.
Oh, wow.
And we're not logging it because of the rules that we've had in place. And then we end up with issues like these giant fires in the summertime. So all of it goes along to forest management, and we're not doing it. So, I mean, that just goes along with the wood sawmills, right?
Yes.
And really, the South Asian Indian culture that came in, you know, they really expanded our wood industry, and it's hurting locals in Surrey. We have quite a few mills in Surrey, and they're hurting because of this. And then we go up to Merritt and Williams Lake, and you know, throughout. I mean, there's probably 40 communities that are suffering right now just because of the wood.
Yes.
And that doesn't include anything where we go along with the amount of natural gas, oil, and minerals that we have in this province that are not being used.
Right. I'm actually the daughter of a man that worked his entire life for Tolko Industries. So I know all about the forestry and the need to actually, you know, work with this industry. It's our biggest one. I mean, it's been like that for decades.
Yeah.
And to not be using that, that is a travesty. So hopefully that gets cleared up. I guess with new leadership for the Conservatives, maybe we'll see a change in the province eventually. As
I think
evolve.
you know, that's the problem with being in opposition, is we don't make the changes. We try and push for what, you know, we think will work better, and clearly right now things aren't working. Things are going downhill.
Right.
So hopefully a change in government, no matter who the leader is, we will be able to make some changes for the better for everybody.
Yeah. So Bryan, we always talk about these sad things and all the horrible things that are happening, but that's not entirely true. Surrey is a beautiful city with a lot of positivity, a lot of great stories. The diversity, you know, often is really something to celebrate, and not to look at like, oh, look what this community is doing, and pointing fingers and being unhappy. So let's talk about the great things happening in Surrey and the great things that you're doing, because I know you don't like to talk about yourself and the great things that you're doing, but we see it. And I'd like to talk about the positive stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, let's start with the cultural events, because again, as I mean, we sort of covered this at the beginning, but when else would I have been able to expose myself to all of this, right? I mean, there's lots of times where I go to an event, and you know, bluntly, I'm the only white person there,
right?
And I would like to see that changed for sure. I mean, these events are fantastic.
Yes.
So if we can, you know, expand that out, and I do. There's some other groups, I guess I won't mention right now, but that are doing things and asking me to help reach out and try and integrate everybody just a little bit more, because I mean, it's a huge thing.
Do you mean like other cultural groups?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, you can mention them. We love everyone. It's not a problem at
all.
all.
No, not cultural. I'm talking about the individual groups that are going along.
Specific names.
Yeah, the specific names. I'll leave them out for now.
That just goes to character. You're the type that helps everyone, and that's why people are reaching out to you. So that makes complete sense.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, I like the other groups. I mean, I get invited to the Filipino events, and then we've had actually some Vietnamese events, which isn't a huge community in Surrey, but it's fantastic. And I mean, we have cultural events from all over the place, so it works very well. You know, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of dance, and I think we'll call them competitions or displays, because some of them are they're probably 50-50 just display and competition.
Okay.
But I mean, and that's the wonderful thing about having the Bell Center in my riding, is that we have so many there, and fantastic. So I'm hoping we get a few more groups that are coming out to them, because I mean, it does predominantly end up being throughout India, for the different cultures in India, because there's a lot in India just in itself.
That's true.
But you know, we've had Ukrainian dancers, Scottish dancers that are all part of this as well. So you know, the more we can come up with, you know, to get people out, because I do enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to tell me that you actually get up on stage. I was a little bit worried there.
Well, let me hold on a second. Let me say, the last one I went to, the last dance competition I went to, there were some technical problems, and I was on stage.
Stop.
So they said, entertain us, and I'm like, okay. So I did some Bhangra moves.
Oh, it was Bhangra. I was gonna ask you, Tepper, what last name? Like, what is your heritage? But all of a sudden, you just hit me with Bhangra, so I'm impressed.
There you go. No, but I am German. It's German names. So yeah, mostly.
Is there German dancing?
Well, there is, but it's, I don't know.
But you know Bhangra.
Yeah, well, I just know a couple of moves. So, but it was funny. But I got the loudest cheer of the night.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah,
nothing better than to see a visually, obviously white man doing the Bhangra. I think that's a beautiful thing. That speaks to Surrey, actually. You know, I think in this time right now, we've got a lot of negativity, but seeing that you're doing something like that, it's nice. And having that conversation of communities, you know, being the Vietnamese community or Filipino or the Punjabi community, everybody kind of recognizing different things within the communities and celebrating them, because we are back in a time, I mean, like probably in the 80s, there was a bit of racism, and it was because of a lack of knowledge. And now it seems like we've kind of reverted to back to that.
I was actually just thinking that before you said it, and that's part of the immigration problems that we've had.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Mass immigration.
Yeah, the speaking to the Indian community is the most vocal community about the problems we've had with this mass immigration.
Yes.
And you know, everybody is just mad that we're bringing people in really almost unvetted.
Right.
And so they're unchecked, they come in, and we are bringing, I mean, we've clearly brought in a lot of criminals from, you know, back from the old country, from India, and they're coming in, and that is painting everybody with a brush that we do not want. And that, I think, is what's going on with some of this. But I've definitely seen online the rise of people talking about that, and it's like, well, no, it's
not all of us.
It's very few people, and you know, it was a dump is what we had of everybody. We had no idea who we were bringing in or anything else, and as we see now, there's people that we're trying to remove from the country, and they're just claiming refugee status.
Yes.
And we'll get back to the negative on this, but I mean, it's everybody, you know, knows it. We're talking about it, and we need to fix it.
Right. So deport.
Yes, that's, for me, that's the number one thing. I mean, I hear politicians, whether they be really liberal or conservative from Ottawa, talking about these people need to be, you know, put in jail, do their time, and then deported. No, they need to be deported.
First.
That's where we go. They're deported. If they come back, they get put directly in jail.
Right. Why should they be a burden on our taxpayers?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we have people here that work hard, start businesses. I mean, our community is a business-focused community, right? And people are self-starters, and they, you know, come from nothing. I was just over with a fellow that came in 1996, and with nothing, he now has probably the largest trucking firm in BC. And, you know, wildly successful, you know, hurting a little bit under the current economy.
Yes.
But still, I mean, how do you do that without the drive to do it, without being a great person?
Right.
So we're bringing in great people to this country.
Yes.
But we're also now
allowing everyone in.
Yeah, so we have to, there's a definite fix that needs to be done there. Unfortunately, it's federal, so I will still push that as much as I can, and our party is as well. Actually, I will say that I think we need to take control of our immigration in this province ourselves anyway. Quebec does it.
Yeah.
I think Alberta's talking about it now. We've been talking about this for 2 years, where, you know, we need, as conservatives, we want to take over ours so that we do not just have people placed here by somebody from Ottawa going, yeah, we'll just bring in whoever and dump them on you guys.
Right.
You know, we dump them in the middle of Surrey with no supports, with nothing.
That's right. So on the one hand, it isn't actually the immigrants' fault, because they don't even know what they're doing here. They've got no guidance, and we're not vetting people properly. But the ones that are here working hard and making their dreams come true, you're saying congratulations to them.
Yeah, and we have a great number of students that, you know, if the numbers were in the millions that we've had over the last few years of supposed to be temporary foreign students.
Yes.
And they come in and they're told, they come in and they get their degrees or whatever, they're going to be allowed to become Canadians.
Yes.
And, well, I think they were sold a little bit of a bill of goods on that.
Advertising,
And, but we had no supports for them in place. I think it's in Ontario, but we're not much different here. They had one of the universities, I want to say they had something like 20,000 foreign students out of a 30,000 seat university, and no place, they were at 10,000, they just added these people with no housing.
Right.
So what did we do? What did we do, right?
It's an unfair system to the people of Canada, of British Columbia, and an unfair system to those people coming into the country. It's unfair on both sides.
With the best of intentions, these people are coming here to make Canada, themselves and Canada, greater. So those are, I mean, we want these people.
Yes.
But we've not provided anything and any support for bringing them in, and really demanded nothing of them of coming in. We just said, here you go, and now you're a burden on people that have been here.
That's right. So the system is a little bit broken. We need to fix it. So Bryan, fix it. Thank you for talking to us today. And as usual, it's been a pleasure. You always have such an open conversation, as I said at the top of the show. So thank you so much for being here.
Most welcome.
Thank you. So that was our program of Sanjha Galbat today. Keep watching Sanjha TV. Thank you so much. Sat Sri Akal.